Mr. Johnson lost his beloved wife to cancer. He was in so much pain that he didn't know how to live without his wife. For 2 years, he was so lonely because all his 3 children were married and happily settled in their homes, running their own successful businesses. He immersed himself in work, trying to fill the void left by his wife's absence. One day, as Mr. Johnson was working at his desk in his massive mansion, a thought struck in his mind and he called his personal assistant and asked him to help him find a new wife. Soon enough, word spread that the billionaire was in search of a wife, and women from all over began to line up at his door. But among all the women, only one of them caught Mr. Johnson's attention. She was elegantly tall, decently dressed, and had a captivating smile that captured Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson approached her and asked her out on a lunch date. Mr. Johnson proposed on the same date, and within 1 week, the two were married. 1 month into their marriage, Mr. Johnson realized how caring and loving his wife was, and he devised a plan together with his own lawyer to fake his death in order to test his wife's loyalty. Days later, Mr. Johnson bade his wife goodbye and told her he was traveling out of the country for some business meetings. That same evening, Naomi received a mysterious call telling her that her husband had been involved in an accident and died on the spot, but his body was missing. Naomi was devastated. She was in so much shock. She cried, but what pained her the most was that her husband's corpse was nowhere to be found. Naomi ran to different police stations trying to seek help from the police to find her husband's missing body, but all she got in return from her husband's influential friends and in-laws were accusations of how she had killed her husband so that she could inherit his massive wealth. After weeks of searching without success, her husband's in-law forced her to bury a banana stem in place of her husband's body. They then forcefully pushed her to the village to swear before a shrine that she had nothing in her husband's death. Naomi was so tired from crying. She had cried all her heart out, and for a moment she regretted getting married to a billionaire. She then traveled back to her home for her husband's will reading. Her stepchildren gathered together with their family lawyer, and just as their lawyer was about to read the will, Mr. Johnson walked in and scratched. Naomi passed out. The thought that she had seen a ghost blew her mind. She then woke up in a hospital with her husband beside her. He explained everything to her, and Naomi could not take it. She could not believe what her husband had done. She was later discharged, and Mr. Johnson named Naomi as his co-heir. They then lived happily ever after. The end. If you've enjoyed this story this far, please do not leave without giving it a like, subscribe, and share. And please consider leaving a comment on the comment section telling me whether you enjoyed the story and telling me whatever city or country you're watching me from for me to give you a shout out on the next episode of Wonder Tales by Julian.